SCS Software has really been putting in the work over the past year. And honestly, it shows. If you've been playing ETS2 or ATS recently, you can feel the difference. The games feel more alive, more polished, and more complete than they did before. It's not just about new content, it's about how everything is coming together. Even if you look at the numbers on Steam, the active player count, the engagement, people are actually enjoying these games. Players from all over the world keep coming back, and that says a lot. Because, let's be real, trucking simulators are not the kind of games that survive this long unless the developers are doing something right. And right now, SCS is doing a lot right. But what's even more interesting is not just what they've already done, it's what they are planning next. Because SCS is not slowing down. In fact, they are thinking much bigger than before. They've already mentioned plans to introduce more types of vehicles into their games. We're talking about buses, cars, rigid trucks, things that will expand the experience beyond just standard trucking. And that alone is already a big shift. On top of that, they are also looking at bringing ETS2 and ATS to console platforms. That's something the community has been asking for a long time. So clearly, SCS is thinking about growth. They're thinking about reaching more players, expanding the experience, and taking these games to the next level. But even with all that, there's something bigger, something that really stands out, something that could completely change how we look at ETS2. And this is where things get very interesting. SCS has confirmed that they are working on a brand new DLC, and not just any DLC. This is something they've never done before in the history of Euro Truck Simulator 2. For the first time ever, they are expanding outside of continental Europe. And the country they've chosen to start with is Turkey. Now, just think about that for a second. ETS2 has always been focused on Europe. That's been its identity from the very beginning. Everything from the map design to the road networks has been built around that idea. But now, that boundary is being pushed. Turkey is not just another European country being added to the map. It's something more than that. Geographically, Turkey sits between two worlds. You have the western side, which connects to Europe, and then you have the eastern side, which stretches into Asia. So by adding Turkey, SCS is not just expanding the map, they are opening the door to an entirely new region. And that is a big deal. Because this means ETS2 is no longer limited to continental Europe. It's evolving. It's growing into something bigger than what it originally started as. And honestly, that's exciting. Turkey itself is a massive country with a wide range of landscapes, cities, and road networks. You've got busy urban areas, long highways, mountainous regions. There's a lot of variety there. And if SCS captures that properly, this DLC could feel very fresh compared to what we already have in the game. But what makes it even more exciting is what this could lead to next. Because once you cross into Turkey, what comes after that? You start looking at countries like Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and suddenly the possibilities start expanding. Now, of course, there are some regions that SCS might avoid for now, especially considering current geopolitical situations. So we might not see certain areas anytime soon. But still, this feels like the beginning of something much bigger. This is not just a one-time expansion. This feels like a new direction, and if it goes well, we could see ETS2 slowly growing beyond Europe step by step, and that's something a lot of players have been hoping for. So, yeah, this Turkey DLC is not just another map expansion, it's a milestone. It's a sign that the game is ready to move forward. Now, while all of that is happening, we also have something closer on the horizon, Update 1.59. And this update is also bringing some really nice improvements. One of the standout additions is something that might seem small at first, but actually adds a lot to the overall experience. And that is the introduction of Thermo King equipment into the game. Now, if you're not familiar with Thermo King, this is a company that has been around for a very long time. They specialize in temperature control systems used in transport. We're talking about equipment that keeps cargo at the right temperature during long journeys. Things like refrigerated trailers that carry food, medical supplies, or other sensitive goods that need to stay fresh or protected. And in real life, Thermo King is one of the leading names in that space. So bringing that into ETS2, it's a big step towards realism. Up until now, the game has used generic refrigeration units on reefer trailers. They did the job, but they didn't really feel connected to the real world. Now, with this update, those generic units are being replaced with properly branded Thermo King models, and that changes how things look and feel. When you're driving and you see your trailer, or when you're passing other trucks on the road, you'll start noticing real-world equipment that actually exists outside the game. It might seem like a small detail, but it makes the experience more immersive. It makes the world feel more authentic, and that's something SCS has been focusing on a lot recently. They're not just adding content, they're improving the quality of that content. So now when you take on jobs that involve temperature-sensitive cargo, it feels more realistic. It feels like you're actually part of a real transport system. And that's what makes these updates important, because they add depth to the experience. So when you put everything together, the improvements over the past year, the growing player base, the plans for new vehicle types, the possibility of console releases, the introduction of real-world brands like Thermo King, and now this massive step of expanding into Turkey, it really feels like SCS is entering a new phase. A more ambitious phase. A phase where they are no longer just maintaining the game, but actively evolving it. And honestly, it's exciting to watch, because if this is the direction they are going, then the future of ETS2 and ATS looks very strong. And personally, I'm really looking forward to what comes next. The Turkey expansion, Update 1.59, and everything else they haven't revealed yet. Because something tells me they're just getting started.